go ahead and sit on the edge of a blanket or in the center of your mat. Settle into the body. How are the sound levels? Good? Good? Okay, 2 thumbs up. Fantastic. Settling into the body, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale in, lengthening out the crown. And a nice exhale down to grow your roots below your floorboards. Inhale, arms come up with you overhead. Holding at the top. And a nice detoxifying exhale down, clearing your space. A little bit more charge this time. Strong inhale through the fingers all the way up. Feel that energy coming up the spine. Exhale all the way down, interlacing your fingers behind your backs. Pulling the arms back, slight back bend, breathing into the heart space. Take a few breaths here to really let those chest muscles open up. Pulling those arms back, keeping your arms active, shoulders pulled back. Take one last deep inhale into the heart space. Exhale, release those hands, walk them out in front of you. Hinging forward, head towards the floor. Breathing into your back. Let those back muscles open up. Keep the breath in the belly and the awareness on your backs. Inhale, walk your hands to the right, keeping your left hip planted for a nice side body stretch. Inhale, walk the hands back through center and then to your left. Exhaling down to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale to melt deeper into that forward hinge. And an inhale to walk yourself back up all the way. Arms come with you. Exhale, hands to heart. Setting an intention for your practice from your heart space. And visualizing that intention with your third eye space. Letting your breath send that intention out through your crown into the universe above you. Becoming a magnet for everything that you need to be delivered to you from the universe. From here, we're going to be coming into a nice pranayama, alternate nostril breath. Using your right hand, using your right thumb to plug your right nostril. 2 fingers on your third eye space. You're going to begin by breathing in through the left nostril, and then using that ring finger to plug that left nostril, opening up the right nostril, and breathing out your right nostril. And then inhaling back up through that right nostril, closing the right nostril, and sending it out through the left nostril. Calling alternate nostril breathing. Go nice and slow with this breath. This breath helps balance both hemispheres of our brain, as well as balances the 2 upwards and downward facing energy flows of our spine, or called our Sushumna. Clearing out anything that might be trapped as you go. Take a few more rounds here. Ending where you started by breathing the air out your left nostril. Bringing the hands back down to your knees. Finding your regular breath. Breathing in through both nostrils and out the mouth. And if it feels better to breathe in the nose and out the nose, play around with what suits your needs and what feels better to keep cleansing your energy. Very nice. Coming onto our hands and knees in the center of your mat. Dropping into our cat-cows. Keeping that breath parallel, lengthened, and even. Few more here. inhale to a neutral spine. You can bring your knees together or wide, but pushing back to our first child's pose. Breathing into the belly and melting into the mat below you. Inhale, slowly rise up through tabletop, making sure those knees are parallel. Exhale, drop those hips down, coming into a nice cobra. Inhaling up. And then exhaling, pushing back into child's. Find a nice flow in your body here. By inhaling, coming up, dropping the hips, breathing up through cobra. And exhaling, pushing back through child's. I find that it suits my body better if I keep my knees closer together instead of wide apart. Take a few more movements. And then from cobra, exhale through tabletop, cross the ankles, push back and send your legs long, coming into staff pose. Bending the right leg, placing it on the inner thigh of your left leg. Inhale, raising the arms up, and exhale to hinge forward, lower down towards that left foot. Take a few breaths here. And then inhale, come up, arms overhead. Revolve the body outwards towards that right knee. And exhale, come down for a side stretch to revolve down head to knee. Take a couple breaths here. And on an inhale, slowly windmill up. Right arm goes over behind you, lifting the hips up, coming onto the right knee. Send the left arm over for a supported half moon. Feeling a nice long stretch through the left foot, all the way out the left fingertips. And on an exhale, we're going to slowly revolve back down towards that left foot. Right arm raises down, comes back. Find a nice flow here. Inhaling, coming back up, windmilling through and up. And an exhale to lower those hips. Left arm comes to the ground or the shin, and the right arm comes overhead towards that left toe. Feeling graceful and fluid. Taking a few more here. From your half moon, find stillness. Staying into that full moon, half moon, excuse me. Shifting your weight into that hand, shifting your weight as well into that right knee and the right shin. Begin to lift that leg off the ground, bringing it parallel with the mat. You can do some leg kicks here by pumping it up. But keep that hip opening up. Exhale to come down, back through all the way down to the foot. And an inhale to come up, dropping that right arm down, shifting even, sending that right leg long. Bending the left leg in towards your center, in towards that inner leg. Prepping the body now for the other side. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see it better. Okay. Inhale to bring the arms up. And exhale to hinge forward towards that right foot. Taking a few breaths here to open up the backs of the right leg. Nice, deep, relaxing breaths. Before slowly inhaling, coming up, revolving the body out towards that knee, and exhale, coming down. Taking a few breaths here. Before inhaling, windmilling up, shifting the hips up, coming onto that knee, right arm spirals over the head. And an exhale to find your flow. Really pointing that toe, reaching that right arm on our supported half moon. Take a few more. And on this next one, stay up in your supported half moon. Shifting your weight into that knee and that hand, engaging the core, lifting the back leg up, parallel with the floor. And you can go ahead and kick that leg up and down. And then keep that leg parallel with the floor to find stillness. Exhale to lower down. Revolve all the way. And an inhale to slowly come back up. Sending both legs long. Bending the knees, feet together for Baddha Konasana. Pulling any flesh out from underneath you. And an exhale to hinge forward. Feeling those inner leg muscles stretching open towards the floor. Let yourself melt down, relaxing down into your sacred space. An inhale to raise back up, sending the legs long, arms come up. And an exhale to hinge forward, forward fold. Breathing into the forward fold, feeling the backs of your legs blossoming open. Feeling the muscles melting open, slowly falling closer to your legs. Take a few more deep breaths in your forward fold. And on your next inhale, slowly raise up. Plant your hands at your side or maybe a little bit behind you, wherever feels comfortable, to lift the hips up, reverse plank. Drop the head back, keep the hips lifted. Pointing the toes, squeezing the glutes. And an exhale to come on down, back through to that forward fold. Finding another nice meditative movement here, coming into a forward fold and up to a reverse plank on your inhale. Let yourself go deeper and stronger into each pose. Take a few more movements. Inhale to come through staff pose, planting the hands. Bend the knees, coming onto our hands and knees. And then up through to downward facing dog. Walking it out. And then finding stillness, heels to the mat, pressing into the palms. Whatever variation of down dog you'd like. Inhale to step the right foot forward, lift up into a high lunge, making sure that knee is over that ankle and you can track that front big toe. Take nice deep breaths here, back bending if that feels good in your body. Exhaling to open up to warrior two. Sending that back foot wide. Shoulders down the back. Pressing into the feet. Go ahead and grab your blocks. Straighten that front leg. Hinge forward. We're coming into triangle pose. Drop that block down, opening up, stacking the shoulders. And maybe you don't need the block tonight. If you don't want your block, you don't have to have it for triangle pose. Pulling that energy up your legs, up the arches, almost as if you're sucking the energy from the earth below you like your feet are straws. That you're slurping up your legs and into your spine. Take a couple more deep breaths. Before slowly coming out of triangle by bending that leg, front leg, windmilling the arms down, and stepping back to downward facing dog. Taking a few connecting breaths. And then stepping that left foot forward, lifting up into a nice high lunge on this side. Bending into that front leg. Keeping the arms active. Opening up to warrior two and bending into that leg. Finding that right stance that fits your body. Maybe you need to shorten it, or you'd like a challenge in setting that leg back longer. Find your perfect edge. Nice, deep, steady breaths. Again, pulling that energy up the legs and into our torsos. Shoulder blades are relaxed down the back. looking past your left fingertips. Go ahead and straighten that front leg. If you'd like that block, grab your block. But if not, reach forward. When you've reached as far as you can go, side bend over, hinging over, stacking those shoulders. Nice deep breaths in our triangle poses. Slowly bend that knee, windmill the arms down, and step back to downward facing dog. Take a few connecting breaths. And if you'd like to take a child's pose here, I invite you to relax a little bit more deeply. From here, we're going to come into a nice flow, coming into high plank. On an inhale, chaturanga down, using the strength of your arms. Inhale to peel up, cobra. And exhale to curl the toes, downward facing dog. Take this movement a few more times. And on your last one, drop those knees and push back to a nice restorative child's pose for our next section. You can have your arms at your sides to take the pressure off your shoulders if you like. Inhale, come back up through tabletop. Push back to downward facing dog. Rolling those ankles over, we're coming into side plank. So shifting the weight over onto our left hand. Engage the core, raise the right arm overhead, stack those shoulders for side plank. Keep those hips lifted. Nice deep steady breaths. And exhale to come back down. Press back to downward facing dog. And an inhale, step or hop to the front of your mat for a half lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Finding a nice hip distance apart with your feet. Plant your left foot into the earth. Raise your right leg, grab that knee. Find a nice balance here. You can have a slight bend in that knee. But find your balance. And when you're you're ready, externally rotate that leg open towards your right. And place that foot in a position for tree pose, whether that be on your upper leg or below the knee or even on the ground. It doesn't really matter where you place that leg as long as you have balance in your body. And then arms, when you're feeling ready, arms come up. Engage that core, coming into a nice tall tree pose. Finding a point to look at, to stare at as you go deeper into your balance. Without dropping that leg, release the foot, grab the knee, hug it back into the chest. And release down to the ground. Shift your body, wiggle it out, move it out, find equilibrium, and then plant that right leg into the earth. Strong leg, lifting the left up, grabbing the knee. Find your balance, plant that foot, strong leg, strong core. And then externally rotate that hip to the left. Plant that foot in your inner thigh or wherever, maybe the calf or the floor for your tree. And grow your tree with your arms. Nice deep steady breaths, keeping the gaze on that point. Without dropping the foot, releasing the foot from the inner thigh and grabbing that knee back. And releasing it to the floor. Ah, tree pose is the best. Coming to the top of your mat, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hinge forward. Half lift, forward fold, root to rise all the way up, then hands to heart. Take our sun breaths 2 more times. From hands to heart, widen our feet, sending them away from each other. Feet are at a diagonal. Not too, we're coming down into a yogi squat. So you don't want to go too far out, but just a nice comfortable distance, feet at a diagonal. Inhale, arms overhead. And then exhale, we begin to squat down, bending at the knees, all the way down. You can, if you're up here, that's fine. You can always use a blanket under under your heels or sit on the edge of a block. But lengthening the heart up, pressing the elbows into the inner legs, hands together. Closing the eyes. Nice deep breaths of awareness. Bringing the hands to the floor, shift your weight forward, coming on, dropping the knees down, coming into hero's pose. Leaning forward, planting the hands through tabletop, and pushing back to downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. Begin to roll the ankles the other way. Coming up into our opposite side plank. Stacking those shoulders, keep those hips lifted. Exhale, slowly come back down and into downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, lift up into a warrior one. Have that block handy. From warrior one, open up to our warrior two. Drop the right arm down, send the left overhead for a side angle stretch. Take a nice deep breath here. From here, grab that block in your left hand or your right hand. Shorten that stance, shorten that back leg, kind of choke it up closer. Bending into that front leg, place the block at the top of your mat above that foot. Shift your weight forward. In bending in that knee, open the hips towards the ceiling, balancing into that block. And when you're feeling supported and ready, kick that leg up. Your hands can stay on your hips. That left hand can stay on your left hip. Or you can bring that left arm up, stacking the shoulders, coming into a nice half moon here. And if half moon is in your practice and you don't need that block, feel free to remove the block, keeping that leg lifted. But keep those hips open. A few more deep breaths here. Before on exhaling, bending into that front leg, lowering that back leg towards the floor. Windmilling the arms down and stepping back to downward facing dog. Taking a few connecting breaths here. You can also take a child's pose if you like. Prepping the body for the other side. And then inhale, stepping that left foot forward, opening up to warrior one. Bending into that front leg, coming into warrior two. Nice deep steady breaths. Dropping the left arm down, reaching the right over. And then grabbing that block, shortening that stance, kind of kicking the back leg up, planting that block at the top of your mat. Shifting your weight forward, bending into that front leg, opening the hip up towards the ceiling, kicking that back leg up. Again, your hand can be at your hips, or if you'd like to raise that hand up, stacking the shoulders. Nice deep steady breaths. Keep lifting up. And exhale to slowly bend that front knee. Glide that leg down. Then windmill the arms down. And step back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Dropping the knees down and then crossing the ankles, shift back, sending the legs long, centering yourself on your mat. And very slowly and gracefully, using the strength of your core, lower your backs onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Slowly and gracefully, and when you've come all the way down, hug your knees in towards your chest. Nice rock on the low back. And if there's any last pose in tonight's practice that your body is calling for, maybe that be a happy baby, a supine twist, bridge or supported bridge. Give yourself the opportunity to practice a pose that best suits your needs. facing into the floor, coming into your variation of your final resting pose. Maybe that be legs up the wall, or a supine Baddha Konasana, or classic Shavasana. Melt into your final resting pose, letting go of the breath and the mind, letting the body fall into its natural breathing rhythm, and just letting yourself feel all that you can. slowly bring movement back into your fingers and your toes, then your ankles and your wrists. Breathing into the belly for a full body stretch. Rolling onto one side. And pushing yourselves up when you're ready. Coming into a nice easy pose, sitting on the edge of a blanket or pushing that flesh up. Letting the shoulders melt down the back, closing the eyes. Lengthening up through the crown. Falling into a nice meditation. I invite you all to keep meditating in your practice tonight. And I will leave you with this Happy are those who take life day by day, complain very little, and are thankful for the little things in life. I'm thankful for tonight's practice and getting to share that with you all. From my heart to yours, have a wonderful work week, a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to the new moon next week. Thank you all so much again. Namaste.